Hey guys, so I wanted to play a bit more with Forbidden Shako, something with it, and I decided to give Shockwave a try because the higher level Shockwave is, the more damage effectiveness it's getting, and the more maximum charges it's getting, and the more cooldown and recovery rate it's getting. With at least level 31 plus Shockwave in the Forbidden Shako, you're getting 6 charges at least. And I got this Forbidden Shako, level 9 Endurance Charge on melee stun and level 33 Shockwave for like 1 divine, and at this point the Shockwave is getting 320% damage effectiveness. And when I thought about, okay, so the Shockwave has limited amount of procs and it just have enough maximum charges and kind of CDR and decent damage effectiveness to stack 8 bleed stacks. That allows me to also use Marohi, which gives a lot of flare damage. So that's how I decided to play with the Shockwave bleed build. And this is also Gladiator. Now, because Marohi is a very super slow weapon, the only way to not feel bad of using it is pretty much just to use Cyclone, and Cyclone is boring, so actually I got bored of this build before I even did Uberlab, but I still decided to just push it to the like tier 16 Guardian, Cirrus, give it a try, and then quit the build. So the build could be more optimized, but it does have pretty decent numbers. It has like 4.6 million bleed DPS, the tankiness isn't great, only 4.2k life, but I do have some armor, the fortified, the endurance charges, so it's not too bad. So the build is overall kind of mediocre, probably would not recommend. It just was interesting to see if Shockwave would be a good idea to scale bleed, and I think with Shako it's not really a good idea, because when you think about it, in order to even use Shockwave you have to use some other skill. So for bleed you essentially just one bleed, and 8 strongest bleeds will take priority, right? So if you apply a weaker bleed, it's not gonna override the stronger bleed. So only bleeds from Shockwave would stack. So this means I'm using one extra socket, which is Cyclone, just to be able to proc Shockwave. So essentially I'm playing like on a 5 link now, and the 5 link is not even that strong. So in the end I don't think that it's worth going for Forbidden Shako and Shockwave. In general, Forbidden Shako isn't always worth it. It's actually pretty rarely worth it, unless you get another good support. Like in this case, level 9 Endurance Charge on melee stun does increase my bleed damage, and because I'm also getting some endurance charges, there is this mastery from bleeding mastery plus 3% to damage over time multiplier for bleed per endurance charge. So I believe I currently got 4 endurance charges, so I get 12% dot multi, so that's also nice. I tried to figure out if melee strike range affects Shockwave size, and it does seem to affect it, but I'm not entirely sure. I couldn't find it on the wiki, so if you experimented a bit more with Shockwave, let me know in the comments below. Does melee strike range affect Shockwave radius in any way? Now, in order for my Cyclone to not feel slow, I'm actually using Stampede boots, which essentially overrides the movement speed reduction when you cycle, when you channel. You're essentially moving at 150% of your base speed. The problem is, all the other things that increase movement speed, even more movement speed from challenger charges, will not increase it. The only way to increase your movement speed is to use reverse self-chill or get action speed. And this is non-crit build, so Tailwind boots is not, well, I cannot use different boots. But with this I actually could do a self-chill, reverse self-chill quite easily. It would be difficult with the attributes and resistances, but essentially you just need the Golden Rule, Venopuncture, Winter Weave, and also I guess Malevolence, Watcher's Eye, for you to be unaffected by bleeding. And then you essentially just reflect bleeds to yourself, which lasts for like 8 seconds or something like that. And then for those 8 seconds while you are bleeding, you're also gonna be chilled. And then you just get like increased effect of non-damaging ailments and you become much faster. So essentially you can get easily like 15% extra movement speed, even 20% movement speed, and then it does feel pretty fast. On top of that, you can still pick up the speed shrine and that way get faster. But yeah, like overall I would lose a lot of damage, so I didn't do that. Now for the rest of my items, I'm also using Ryslatha's Coil. I'm not sure if it's worth using Catalyst on it, because it also makes the gap wider between minimum and maximum, although stronger bleeds will take priority anyway. Circle of Guilt Ring can give a lot of damage, but it's harder to get enough life and resistances that way. The amulet could definitely be better, it just not even great life, some resistances, damage over time. The way I'm generating frenzy charges, I actually have 3 ways of doing that. One is from the body armor, that's on hit, frenzy charge on hit, that's useful against bosses. I also have on kill from Gladiator. For the endurance charges I got the Forbidden Shako, endurance charge on melee stun, and I am stunning quite often while mapping and also recovering 50 flat life when I stun enemies, so while mapping it does feel pretty good, but against bosses it's not very tanky build, and I do sometimes stun some bosses but it's not very often. But I also have instant war cry and enduring cry, which against bosses can generate enduring charges, which is also damage. For the supports I'm using brutality. I'm actually not even using awakened gems. I do have a relic which gives 17% of physical damage over time multiplier, but if you were to just replace the relic with something else and then just use awakened gems, you would have pretty much the same damage. So I got brutality. Cyclone level 21 gives extra radius or extra stage, so it's pretty important. Unbound ailments to make the bleeds last longer, and then melee physical damage support. I'm not sure if, like I said, melee strike range doesn't affect the radius or not. For the auras, I got Pride, Held of Purity, Enlighten level 3, and War Banner, and Malevolence. Now I also got Watcher's Eye, increase physical damage while affected by Pride, and then damaging elements, you inflict deal damage faster while affected by Malevolence. That actually surprisingly was very cheap, like 1 divine I think. Someone was underpricing probably. I do also have Ancestral Protector with Maim, Steel Skin, Enduring Cry. Frostblink actually can be used while cycloning without breaking the cyclone, so you don't lose the cyclone stages, which is very nice. You actually do need a bit more attack speed. Like normally without any other buffs I have 2.5 attacks per second with cyclone, which is very bad, but once I use the totem, use the blood rage, get more attack speed from the challenger charges, the attack speed becomes pretty decent, and it is required for you to even proc shockwaves fast enough. I do carry Stone Golem, but I pretty much never actually use it, so it's just there for no reason I guess. Like I said, I did not treat them in max. As you can see, I still have plenty of open sockets, and I am carrying Cast on Death Portal, although I haven't really died that many times. I died 11 times, this is level 92, and I have been farming tier 16 Guardians. It's not amazing, but it does work pretty well, and in Sanctum it's also not too amazing. It does seem to do a pretty good job. As for the passive skill tree, well, it's like this. From the large cluster jewel, just getting overload, that saves me 5 points, so I don't need to get steadfast and then the fortify mastery. On medium jewels, just getting wasting afflictions and circling oblivion. I'm not sure if these two are the best ones, but they are not expensive, like 40C each. And then on one of the small cluster jewels I'm getting the reservation efficiency either for Pride or for Malevolence, and that way I can squeeze in all these auras and still have enough mana to even use Cyclone. So yeah, that kind of covers the build. There's not much else to talk about it. I need build ideas. I need build ideas for the next build. I don't know what to do. I kind of want something tanky, but not like meta tanky, something a bit unusual tankiness, maybe like a Rat Cage or I don't know, Font of Thunder shield. I think it was called Font of Thunder. I did try to plan some kind of lightning coil with Font of Thunder, and like it just doesn't even have 1 million like consistent DPS. The defenses could look great, but it doesn't even have enough DPS for map clear, I would say. So I want something tanky, something a bit unusual. I also found a fair divine altar. No way! No way did I just find a fair divine altar. Like, I don't even want more currency. I don't know what to buy and what to do with more currency. I got like 50, maybe 60 divines among all the items, so I don't even know what to do with that. So let me know in the comments below what kind of wacky but viable build idea could I do. Maybe something that has good defenses, not necessarily a high DPS, maybe like 2 million consistent DPS, I would be fine. As long as it's not like 2 different totems, then 50 rage and then the berserk and then the shocks, and then I don't want any like conditional nonsense. So I want just consistent DPS, not even high, and then something tanky, and maybe not kind of meta tanky, but maybe some meta tank, because I need to spend my divine somewhere. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.